Yapping.
Hello, this is Erica.
And Edgar.
And we are the Yapping Schnauzers. We entertain you with yap-worthy stories we find around the web. Today's theme is top stories this week. So the first story is, am I the asshole for asking my girlfriend if she can take a shower? My girlfriend really only showers once a week. Twice if I'm lucky.
Bro.
Typically, we go to the gym together, and I've often asked her why she doesn't shower. And she always comes with things like, oh, women don't really sweat much. And I sweat very little, even for women's standards. And I don't buy it because I can smell. I used to just suck it up because she's extremely sensitive. Kinda not safe for work here, but this even affected our private life and I've lost interest. Fast forward a bit, she now starts using a sauna at the gym, maybe an average 2 times a week. She still refuses to shower. I've said there's just no way you don't sweat in the sauna. Just me sitting 5 minutes in there gets me soaked. She says she doesn't sweat much either. And she sits there for 20 minutes.
She's just marinating.
Ugh, so gross. Things are now worse. I can smell her very badly. Almost to the point where I try not to breathe in too close to her because it's not good. I tried so long to give hints to get her to shower, more like, hey, do you want to take a shower together? But she can't take the hint and says, why would we do that? There's only room for one under the water anyway. One evening, she wanted to lie down on the floor and stare at the world map she has. She invited me to lie down next to her and just talk about where we want to go, etc. I lasted for about 1 minute before I had to make up some dumb excuse as to why I had to get up. She then gets upset and says along the lines, why are you leaving? You never do stuff with me. The truth is, I just can't be too close to her for so long. I'm not even sure if I started to resent her because it was only this one thing that was bugging me in the relationship, but maybe I did, and that's my fault for being bad at communicating to her. Anyway, I couldn't hold it in any longer. I tried one last time to ask her if she wanted to take a shower with me to show I did want to do stuff with her, but she declined. Then I said, I know you say you don't sweat, but I can smell. I don't like the smell of sweat, etc. And being a popular gym we go to, I would just appreciate if you showered a bit more. She freaked out. She accused me of things she asked if I found her disgusting, etc. I almost felt like she wanted me to think she's disgusting for some messed up reason. Like this was an easy way to create distance between us and all that. And I'm not sure, maybe I'm overthinking it. It's just, to me, it feels awful, obvious to shower, if not daily, at least every other day. She says she doesn't want to shower her hair often, but still, you can shower your body. Our relationship is borderline over because I hurt her. So am I the asshole? What could I have done differently?
Yeah, I mean, that's like pretty gross. Like, she's just... I could just imagine this smell being that awful. OP couldn't even manage 1 minute next to her before she's like gagging and like leaving.
Oh, that's gross. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, you go to the sauna and you don't shower after? That's insane to me because when you go in there, you're like, your whole body's sweating. I mean, everywhere is sweating. So you're going to come and tell me you don't shower after that is disgusting. And then it's like that skin cells too, like, because you could like peel off and, you know, you need to shower because you have dead skin cells on your body and you rub it off and you wash, like exfoliate your body as well. I don't know. Like, I think he's better off.
Yeah, because it's like, it's very unhygienic and I can just imagine like it's a terrible like smell. And I don't know like why she's like not showering at all.
Yeah.
Like at all. I imagine it's just like a thing that she grew up with, like, oh, I don't need to shower that much. And I think the excuse that like, oh, I just don't shower, or I just don't smell, or I don't really sweat. That's just like kind of like the same excuse, like same like dumb excuse like some guys have, or like the dumb joke that some guys have about girls, like, oh, they just fart unicorns and like rainbows.
You mean poop?
Oh, yeah. That's what it reminded me of. But like she actually lives by that.
Yeah, but like for example, you don't sweat a lot at all. No, like you can do so much like workouts, run and stuff, and I see like 1 drop of sweat. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's insane to me. Yeah. I'm like, I sweat easily. I'm the opposite of you, but obviously I take care of my hygiene. Like I turn purple like a tomato. Not
I know,
purple,
yeah.
red as a tomato.
With your like workouts, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like,
But even like with me, like when I'm not sweating that much, I still like have the need to like shower after a workout.
yeah, it's gross because even if you don't sweat, you can still smell.
And I know it's like it's gonna fester if I leave it there for too long. It's
Yeah.
also not good for your skin to have like sweat on you all day.
No, and then even for your like, I know a lot of people don't wash their hair every day, which is fine. But I mean, come on, if you sweat and you work out and you go to sauna and you're not washing it like often because you're literally sweating, your glands are open, and you don't. It's just bad for your scalp health as well. I mean, I don't think how that's gonna be good for you at all. So there is a small update, and it says we broke up. She refused.
Totally
for real, I am. No, I'm glad they did, honestly, because they just. I mean, she should find somebody that doesn't shower as often, just like her, and maybe she can realize that, it stinks. Yeah. So she refused to accept she was disgusting by not showering and did not see anything wrong. Impossible for me to change her mind when she is dead set on no wrongdoing. No point for me to argue with someone like that. Seemed like there was a lot unresolved trauma in her past. I was aware of it, but not to the severity of it and how it still affected her. One of her first sentences come out when I confronted her again about it was, break up with me then. Like she was challenging me or something. It really made me feel weird. Instead of us coming to an agreement together, she went very defensive and just attacked me. She struggled with having girlfriends as she was scared of them stealing her current boyfriend or something. So she always went to hang out with guys. She loved getting validation from guys as well, as she ended up having a lot of friends with benefits over the years, he said. There's a lot of stuff I did not know, but that's just not my thing. For some reason, I almost feel used in a way, because I feel like to her I was just another friends with benefits, but she was someone I actually saw a future with. Ultimately, what made us break up, though, was the fact that she sees herself as over men, or me in that case. She believes women are holy, her words, not mine. Oh my god. She was the taker in the relationship and I was the giver. It worked for some time, but I started resenting her, and I did not want to be as much as a giver for her anymore. I started to notice she did not appreciate my effort, and she did not reciprocate much at all. Hopefully she will find a guy who will put her on the highest pedestal out there, but that guy is not me. All power to her.
Oh, so she's like a slower and she still doesn't shower?
That's gross. Come on. I think even if you have like some hookups in there, I mean, if a guy is desperate enough, ugh. No,
Imagine she's like, I still feel clean, so I'm not gonna shower.
No, that's so wrong.
Bro, this is what happens when you don't have education on hygiene in the school.
I mean, he did mention there was some trauma. I don't understand what type of trauma, so I can't judge her too.
What trauma can you have with the shower?
No, I don't know. Maybe she was like, when she was little, there was some trauma with that. I don't know. Regardless, she has some trauma. Maybe she just needs some mental health. She needs to talk to a psychologist as to why she thinks it's okay to not have good hygiene. Yeah. So the top comment is, it's not just about sweat. No wonder you don't want to be near her. I shower every other day and I feel dirty if I don't. I have dry skin. Otherwise, I shower daily. But my skin hurts if it gets too dry. She should be showering at least that often, and absolutely after each visit to the gym and sauna. That's gross.
Agreed.
Yeah. And certain parts of your body obviously need, to be kept every day.
Yeah, more clean.
Yeah, you can't just be like, oh yeah, just twice a week and it's fine. It's gonna smell, especially if you work out. That's disgusting. I think he did the right thing by breaking up with her.
Yeah.
Good riddance.
He saved his nose.
Not only that, because it could cause an infection too, like certain things. So
I think the infection's more on her end than him. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just glad.
Yeah. OP's in a better place right now. Better smelling place. So,
yeah.
Final verdict on this?
He is not the asshole.
Yeah, definitely not. And yeah, I think OP's ex is the asshole though.
Yeah, I think he really tried. Yeah, he tried to tell her, maybe we should shower together, or maybe we should,
Yeah.
He tried really hard.
The next story is titled, Am I the Asshole for Admitting to My Son that I love his mother more than him and telling him he's acting self-centered. My son moved out right after graduating college last year. Since then, he's been very preoccupied with his own life. My wife and I couldn't be much prouder of him, but we do wish he'd made a little bit more effort to keep in touch, especially since he only lived 30 minutes away. Months go by without hearing much from him, and we were always the ones to reach out first. We never complained about it to him until my wife's birthday. Her birthday was 2 days ago, and we didn't get a call or a surprise visit. She was a little upset, but chose not to confront him. I decided to call him about it, not out of anger, just as a reminder. I said, "Hey buddy, you missed your mother's birthday." He immediately apologized and asked me to wish her a happy birthday on his behalf. I told him it would be nice if he could visit us soon because we miss him. Apparently, that set him off. He told me that he has his own life to live and that we have ours. I told him I understood, but we're still his parents and we want to stay close. That's when he bluntly said he doesn't want a close relationship with us and that he's frustrated we won't leave him alone. I asked him why, and out of nowhere, he brought up something from when he was 10 years old. He said he overheard my wife and me saying that we love each other more than we love him. I was completely confused because I don't recall ever saying anything like that. When I asked for more context, he said we had been talking about our own parents' marriages, and at some point I said something along the lines of, even though I love him a lot, I love his mother the most. My wife apparently agreed with me, and the conversation has tainted his view of our relationship ever since. I told him there was nothing wrong with that, and that he was acting like a self-centered brat who thinks the world revolves around him. He told me to go to hell. When I told my wife about what happened, she said I was wrong for calling him that, even though I believe it was true. So, am I the asshole?
I feel like he is.
OP?
Yeah, I mean, not completely. I feel like he shouldn't have treated him that way. I think there was a different way he could have responded. His son is telling him how he made him feel and how, that part of his childhood made him feel like he wasn't wanted or he wasn't loved. So he should have reacted a different way because his son was telling him how he was feeling.
Yeah.
I think he just disregarded his feelings and said that he was being a self-centered brat. Was kind of not what he needed to hear.
Yeah.
I honestly think he could have reacted a better way. What do you think?
I don't think OP is the asshole in this situation for like how the son reacted when he was like younger, because I feel like that's kind of like a nonsensical like argument. I feel like that's like an excuse for just not seeing him. Growing up, our parents probably like could have said things better, or they did things that they probably regret. And you and I, we don't fault our parents for that. We don't like say, oh, because of this one thing you did when I was a preteen, I'm never gonna talk to you again, or I don't want a relationship with you. Like that's just like dumb, It's like very immature. So that's why I agree with OP on.
Yeah, but I just don't think for a child to come to that conclusion, I don't believe it was just one thing. Maybe it was other situations or other words that were said during his childhood that made him react that way. So I don't really think it's just that one thing that made him feel that type of way. Because, I mean, as a child, you have situations with your mom or situations with your parents where you're like, okay, they made me this way and whatever. It was just a one thing, or it was just, they were just out of anger. But if it's something constant and you feel a certain way, then I feel like it taints your childhood. Mm-hmm. So the top comment is, you're the asshole. First of all, he is as you raised them. Secondly, kids don't just suddenly decide to let go of a relationship with their parents because they heard something like that. In a home with engaged, available parents, kids flip out and tell their parents they overheard something upsetting or they demand to know why they would say such a thing. They just don't keep it a secret for 20 years. Something else is going on. It may be that you meant that you love your wife and understood that she would be your partner even when your kids grew up and moved on. But clearly, you did make your child feel neglected. If you want a relationship, calling your son a self-centered asshole isn't a great way to begin. Did it even occur to you to ask how he felt or try to clarify what you meant or express any sadness about the fact that he did not in fact feel loved? Do you think to tell him you would like to have a better relationship, or do you even want that? It wasn't just one thing. Other stuff happened that you're now aware of or are actively ignoring.
It would be a patterning as well, but
yeah, so
I do believe, well, from the context of the story, I feel like OP's son might be covering for something else. Like, it's just like not the whole story, or it's just like that one thing is like an excuse.
Yeah, because as a parent, maybe he doesn't realize he did anything wrong, or maybe some of the situations where his son felt, neglected or didn't feel loved, and he was not aware of it because he didn't think he did anything wrong.
Yeah.
So I honestly think the way he reacted completely didn't care what he said and didn't say how come or try to get to the bottom of the situation or why he felt that way. So, I mean, if that little snippet of conversation with his son tells you how he is, then imagine how his relationship is.
Focusing on like that one with one conversation from their story. Yeah, it's like not a way for like a parent to like talk to their kids. Like it's like more of something you like talk to your kids when like you're really annoyed at them, and like the kid is like 4 years old or 3 years old. But if they're still talking like this as adults, it seems like it was probably something consistent that they had, or maybe that's just how he sees him, like his own son.
Yeah, like a child.
Yeah.
So I think,
and probably the child doesn't like, or OP's son doesn't like being treated that way.
Yeah, I honestly think that he needs to just have a conversation with him and listen to what he's saying, not just automatically make a decision on what he needs to say and what he thinks and just disregard what he's feeling or what he's saying. Because there's context behind it and there's feelings behind it, and he's just completely blindsided with that,
And if OP really wanted like a relationship with his son, he would have gone about the conversation differently, like more empathetically.
Yeah, and this is just one thing he's telling you about. Like we mentioned, it could probably be other things that he has gone through. So yeah, I think they both need to have a conversation with him and sit down and tell him that he's important in this relationship. I understand that having a good relationship with your significant other, wife, husband, whatever, is important when having kids. But to make a child feel like he's not loved or he's not as important as your wife, it's an issue.
Final verdict?
I still think he's an asshole for his reaction.
I think also, yeah, the OP, that I think about it more, OP is like the asshole as well. But the son is also an asshole because she's also like not going about it a good way as well. But it's like more of, yes, he's a child, but he's an adult now. But OP, it's like it's more on OP's end to like fix the relationship. That's what he wants from it, like for them to be close again. So he has to put in the effort.
I mean, he's still a newly adult. As a father, he should know better. And he was also voted the asshole.
The next story is titled, "Am I the asshole for telling my sister and brother-in-law it's their fault the son doesn't speak to them? Throwaway for privacy. I, 53 female, have a sister, 55 female. I call her Caroline. She has been married for 30 years to her husband, Richard, 58 male. When they married in the 90s, they planned to have children. However, nature had other plans for them, and my brother-in-law couldn't have children. The doctor confirmed the impossibility, and this devastated them. After weighing their options, they chose to go through infertility treatments with donor sperms. I also must note that my sister is a controlling person, and my brother-in-law thinks he knows everything. Fast forward a few years, and my sister and brother-in-law had 2 sons through this process, both of whom have different donors. And as science grown with DNA, and I advised my sister to tell the children when they were young of how they came to be, and just be honest with them. I was met with harsh backlash, telling me to mind my own business, and that under no circumstances are her sons to find out. I would continually bring it up on occasion until one nasty fight where my brother-in-law told me I was an uneducated idiot who knew nothing about the subject. Then I gave up and never spoke to them about it again. Last year, Caroline's older son decided to take a 23andMe test and discovered that my brother-in-law is not his biological father. This caused a massive uproar in my sister's family. My nephew told them he always knew something was wrong and wanted to find the truth. After months of back and forth fighting about my sister and brother-in-law's betrayal of trust, per my nephew, he has now cut contact with his parents. I connected with him through social media and will not do anything to risk losing this contact. Last week, my sister called me sobbing because the birthday present she sent to her son was returned with a note that said, "Do not contact me again," from my nephew. After listening to her for 30 minutes, I got tired. I tried to hang up, but she lashed out and asked why I wasn't supporting her. I told her the truth, that she ignored my thoughts for years. I told her I warned her that science was catching up with her lies, and she should have told the kids when they were young so they could process it better. She called me heartless and a monster for not giving her help and trying to persuade my nephew to speak with her. I told her that I would not do that for either her or her brother-in-law, and this situation is their fault, and that they need to figure out how to live with the consequences or find a way to fix the relationship with their son. It was then my brother-in-law got on the phone and called me a bitch and hung up on me.
Oh,
he just came out of nowhere. Just say that. The brother-in-law is
What's
menace.
the point?
My mother and father got involved and told me that a good sister wouldn't want this type of family tension to continue, and that I needed to step up and help my sister and her son to speak to each other. I refused because I won't risk my one connection I still have with my nephew. So am I the asshole for not helping my sister and brother-in-law fix the relationship with my nephew and telling them that it's their fault? So yeah, for Opie, I don't think he's the asshole, and I think he's wise to like not press on the nephew on this because he's probably like everyone in that family is probably like unfit nice.
Yeah.
For the nephew.
They need some type of family on their side right now. I think if she was to be like, yeah, you should talk to your mom, they would just be left without anybody to talk to. I think the sister should have listened to her and took the advice because I think it's important to tell your kids, we are your parents, but they're not biologically, you're the same DNA. Because it's not a parent just with DNA, it's the parent who takes care of you when you're sick and nurtures you. So, yeah.
Yeah, she was warned about this for like well over a few decades at this point. So, for her to like now want sympathy and have her sister who like disrespected like all these years, like, oh, now can you help me because I didn't listen to your advice. Like I would be frustrated as OP.
Yeah, and then for the brother-in-law to call her a bitch, like really?
I know the brother-in-law is not helping in this situation at all.
No, even the parents, like you are not helping the situation here. I think sure everybody has a say, and you don't have to listen to how you teach your child or have a conversation with them or what you share with them. But now the situation is basically hit the fan. And so I think honestly she just needs to give the child some time. I think right now the person is hurt, the child is hurt and feels like the identity is completely all over the place, feels confused and frustrated and like he's been lied to. I think if she just gets him some time to think and let him to reflect and just let him feel, then eventually he will come around. Because I don't think they were abusive or anything like that. Just he just feels lied to all his life.
Yeah, the nephew definitely needs some time, and they should just reflect it at the moment. And the OP shouldn't do like anything to like try to press the nephew, because I feel like from their only very delicate social media connection, that's like the nephew saying, "I trust you for now, but if you do anything, I'll also leave you as well."
Yeah. So the top comment is not the asshole. They.
Our dog Selena is currently licking Erica's mouth as she's speaking. Straight tonguing her.
Yeah. Yeah, she does that a lot. They're always with us, and once we do videos, you'll be able to see them in their cute little clothes they have on. So the top comment is, not the asshole. They insisted on not listening to you, punished you enough that you shut up, and now they want you to nuke your relationship with your nephew in an attempt to fix the issue. Plus, that seems unlikely to work. You value your relationship with your nephew and don't want to risk it. Actions have consequences, and you are thinking ahead again.
Nicely wrapped up.
Exactly.
Like, this is, like, even if OP goes ahead and caves, talks to the nephew, to try to fix the relationship, like, I think this is, like, unlikely to, like, work. It's gonna be, it causes even more issues. Now, there's, like, no one they can, like, contact that can talk to the nephew.
Yeah.
And they would still be mad at LP. They were like, you messed that up.
Yeah.
Like, I can see that happening.
There's no winning in this case. I think she's doing good with just staying out of it and supporting his nephew. And what if the grandparents talks to him if they want to? Mm-hmm. Why is it up to her? And why are they blaming her, saying, oh, you should talk to them? It's always, I just don't understand parents sometimes. I know they always want to keep the peace, but sometimes it's just making it worse, honestly.
So final verdict?
Not the asshole at all.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, so the next story is, am I the asshole for refusing to let my girlfriend bring her dog's dead ashes on vacation? My girlfriend, 29 female, and I, 28 male, have been together for 4 months. She had a dog that died a few months ago before we met. I have only ever spent the night at her place. I live with my sister and her 2 kids, so it's a little chaotic at my place. Girlfriend has a small 2-3 inch tall urn on her bedside table with the dog's ashes. Before she turns off the lamp, she goes to sleep. She always gives it a little tap on the top and says good night, as though she is talking to the dog. I think it's weird, but I have never said anything. We were supposed to go away for the weekend on Friday. I was watching her pack and noticed she took the urn and put it at the top pocket of her backpack. I asked what she was doing. She said she didn't want to leave the dog behind. I told her she was not allowed to bring the urn, as it made me very uncomfortable. I didn't want to see it any time we returned to our hotel. I didn't want her talking to her dead dog after we had sex. Before we go to sleep, it's weird, and frankly, she's been mourning this dog for too long. She didn't argue. She simply started to unpack her bag. She told me to have fun on the weekend getaway, as she would not be coming. I asked if she was seriously choosing a dog's ashes over me. She said she was choosing herself over me, as I could have spoken to her with kindness and empathy, but didn't. She also said that I didn't get to dictate how long she's allowed to grieve. Then she asked me to leave. She hasn't replied to my text. I think she's overreacting. My sister says she can see both our sides. Am I the asshole for thinking my girlfriend is weird for being attached to her dead dog's ashes?
Yeah, I think, for me, I'd say OP is the asshole in this case.
Right? Like, how dare you? Like, it's usually dogs. Sometimes they have when they're kids and they grow up with the dog. So it's years, 10 to 15 years you have a dog sometimes. And for somebody to say, oh, you just need to get over it.
Yeah, because, all pets are, like, a family member. And to have them pass away is, like, very, like, traumatizing and, like, you need time to mourn. I do think the OP's ex is a little bit weird on how she's, like, mourning. Like, I think it's fine to tap the urine at the end of the day, because that's just, like, her routine. Like, eventually it just be something that she just does every day. But I think it was a little weird to bring it, like, on vacation, because for me, my concern would be that they would lose the urn, like, en route.
Urn, yeah.
Yeah.
Or if they're going on a plane, usually you need some type of documentation or something like that. You can't just bring dust and stuff like that without any.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it would be difficult. Like, it's just like an extra hassle for a vacation. And I think the safest place for like a urine, any those kind of morals would be just like at your home.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's just one of those things where I don't think there's a limit to mourning, but I think it would be safer to leave the ashes at home.
Yeah.
So there are little small updates that says the hotel was not refundable and only 3-hour drive, so I went to the trip without her.
Cool.
She started seeing a psychologist around the same time we started dating. She hasn't told me any specifics, but she said the trauma of suddenly losing her dog brought to the surface another trauma in her past. This is why I think she has been mourning for too long. She is still attached to the dog even after seeing a professional on a regular basis for several months. And then there was one more update that says, I get it, I'm an asshole. I texted my girlfriend to say I'm sorry for how I spoke to her and for dismissing her feelings. It was wrong. I also said I would like to apologize in person and offered to bring her favorite takeout. She said, oh good, don't worry about it. About an in-person apology. I gathered the things you've left at my house. Let me know when you like to come and pick them up. I'm hoping she will still hear me out when I go to her place. Yeah, I think she's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because OP's behavior is also not acceptable. If anyone's mourning or sad, you just don't tell them to get over it. That's asking for the worst case reaction from the other person.
Yeah, I think it's not just him being empathetic, not being empathetic. It's just him flat out telling her that she was creepy and weird for mourning her dog.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, obviously there's a reason why she's doing that, and obviously he found out because it's a deeper meaning than just her dog. So he's just an asshole for not really just being empathetic with her and just being, oh, you're weird. That's it. The top comment is, your ex-girlfriend most likely sounds amazing. I wish she was my friend because she sounds like an awesome person to know. Sounds like you lost a privilege by being an asshole. You're the asshole. Everything she said was 100% correct. I don't even have anything to add because she spoke for herself so clearly. The fact you still don't get it shows that you have a fundamental problem actually hearing her. Read and reread what she said until you get it. So we got Lila a toy for her birthday yesterday, and she loves it. It's like $100 bill with a dog in the middle, and it's so cute. And of course, she decides to play with it now.
Yeah, it was for her first birthday.
Yeah, it's a big one. So
you're back to the story.
Yeah,
we're back to top comments.
Yeah, so the final update is I shared this post with her thinking it might help her see that I was wrong and I'm owning it, and maybe it would open the door to a discussion that blew up in my face. I probably should have deleted some of the questionable comments I made in this thread. She texted saying, your things are now in the garbage bag on the porch. Pick them up sooner than later so they aren't stolen. Goodbye. Please respect my wishes. Don't text me anymore. He messed up.
Why share a thread like this? Why share I posted our situation on Reddit. Can you look at it so we can get back together? Let's just
it makes no sense. Oh my god, he just dug a deeper hole for him.
And then apparently there was more comments that OP made on the original thread that were not nice. So
yeah,
that even blew up worse for him.
He is not helping himself out at all. I think he needs to let go. He was an asshole. Hopefully he learned from the situation to be more empathetic with somebody else going through mourning or any situation, and just be a better person. Reflect on yourself, OP. Be a better person.
Yeah, just take the L. So final verdict.
He's an asshole.
Yeah, OP is definitely the asshole. OP's ex a little bit weird, but I mean normal.
She's going through some stuff, yeah. And the Reddit actually put asshole poo mode.
What does that mean?
Poo mode. Is he shit mode?
Oh.
He's overly an asshole.
So the next story is titled, Am I the Asshole for Believing My 2.5-year-old over my mother-in-law? Without going into too many specifics, my mother-in-law is difficult to deal with. The biggest problem I have with her is that she does what she wants with my daughter regardless of what me or my husband says. I'll say no candy, she'll give her 2 pieces. She sneaks her Coke and tea even after we told her not to. Most things are harmless enough, but my husband and I watch our daughter like a hawk when we're at their houses now. We were there for a long weekend, and honestly, everything was going great. Mother-in-law was in a great mood, and father-in-law was feeling good. He's in his 90s and his health hasn't been great the past few years. I let my guard down and I let my daughter spend some time with my mother-in-law. A couple of days later, when my daughter and I was eating lunch, she tells me mother-in-law clipped her hair. I asked her where, and she posed at her bangs, and sure enough, they look like they've been cut. She also said she's gotten grandma clipped it. That would have been my daughter's first haircut. I had no doubt mother-in-law cut it. She mentioned a couple of times my daughter needed a haircut. Me and my husband said no, we did not want to cut her hair. I texted my mother-in-law that I knew she had cut her hair, and basically we'd be going no contact for a while, along with how I felt about the situation. She of course denied everything and called my husband screaming, crying. How can you believe anything a 2-year-old says? So Reddit, am I the asshole? No.
Absolutely not. She blatantly disregarded what they both wanted. She completely disrespected their decision and went above it and said, well, I want to do this, and that's it. I think it was just one of those things where if she wanted to do it, she should have asked her parents and respected their wishes.
Yeah, because like the parents of the actual like child, their say is like the final say in terms of like what gets done with the child.
Yeah, of course.
Like if they say I don't want the candy, I don't want like the haircut, anyone who takes care of the child, like even the mother-in-law and the father-in-law and the grandparents, they should like respect that.
Yeah, she did not respect the boundaries, and for her not going no contact for a while, good for them, because it's not okay. And the fact that she's throwing a tantrum right now, saying, "How can you believe a 2-year-old?" It's crazy to me.
I know she's just trying to like gaslight them.
Yeah,
and like blame a child for her own mistake.
Yeah, I don't get that. And then there is a small edit that says, it wasn't a week later that I noticed her hair was cut. It was literally a day and a half later. I did notice it was different. I just thought it was the way she slept on it. Her hair is soft and fine, so tangles aren't really a problem. And she hates it when I try to fix it, so I pretty much leave it alone until it's time to wash it, which I don't do every night. Also, my mother-in-law has a history of disregarding your wishes as a parent. She is in low contact with her step-grandchildren for this exact reason. So she's done it before with other children. So, I don't understand.
It's just people who don't respect boundaries or just think that they can do whatever they want.
Well, they think that they know better and that their way is the right way. So the top comment is, not the asshole. Your mother-in-law has a habit of going against the wishes of a child's parent. Doesn't matter who the kid is, stranger or family. You know this, she knows this, so how on earth can she expect you to believe her when it comes to your child? Now, could your daughter have lied? I mean, it's a possibility, but look at it this way. Someone has cut her hair, so until good old grandma can empirically prove she isn't the culprit, tell her that her actions in the past have led you to believe the one person in the situation who doesn't go behind your back. It doesn't matter that the one person is only a toddler. Exactly. She has a track record. And if she knows she is known for this, yeah, we're going to believe the 2-year-old child.
Exactly, yeah.
And why would a 2-year-old child lie? Like, I mean, sure, maybe manipulation stuff, but like, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. Like,
I think, it's generally harder for them to lie, I believe. I mean, they might experiment with lying at that age, but I think for the most part, they just tell you what it is. Like,
yeah. They'd be like, oh, this happened, or I fell, or somebody pushed me, you know? It's really simple things like that. Yeah, so final verdict?
Yeah, OP isn't the asshole in this.
Yeah, definitely not. The mother-in-law is the asshole, and she needs to be put in her place or have boundaries, woman.
She needs a leash.
You're crazy. No, but yeah, she definitely needs to be respectful of others' decision. So the last story is, am I the asshole for refusing to cover my coworker after finding out why she needed time off? So at my job, we're supposed to request time off at least 2 weeks in advance unless it's an emergency. My coworker, Sarah, 30, female, asked me last week if I could cover for her on a Friday. She said it was really important, so I agreed, assuming it was a family thing or something serious. Well, today I found out through another coworker that Sarah's emergency is that she got tickets to a concert last minute and didn't want to lose her spot. I was pissed. I went back to her and told her I wasn't covering for her anymore since she straight up lied. She got really upset and said she had to lie or else no one would cover for her. I told her that's not my problem and she should have been honest. Now she's telling everyone I screwed her over. And some people at work are saying that I overreacted because it's not that deep. And I had already agreed, but I feel like she lied to me and that's not fair. Am I the asshole?
Yeah, I think she's the asshole. If you have the time to take off work, you don't really need an excuse. But like, I know for a lot of companies, they want you to have like a clear excuse.
Yeah.
And I don't see any reason why we had to be like completely honest to like companies in the first place, just because like they're never honest with us ever. Yeah. So, and this also shoots OP in the foot because no one's gonna want to like have her cover for them anymore because they know that she's gonna like backstab them. Or if this is like something that has to be private, it's no longer private under OP's watch.
Technically, she said it was an emergency, but she didn't say what it was.
Yeah.
OP assumed that it was a family thing or something serious.
So even less, yeah.
She didn't say it was something family related, so why she had to make assumptions? Exactly. I don't think she's in the wrong. Plus, if I think they made a whole new law, I don't know if it applies to everybody, but if you could take your sick time and you don't have to say why.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's encouraged to because, morale, but now there's a new law that you don't have to tell them why, which is pretty cool, I think. Yeah. And also, I think she is the asshole because now she went back on her word because of her assumption.
Exactly.
So
it's none of OP's business.
Yeah, I mean, if you said you're gonna cover it, then cover for her. It doesn't matter the reason. And if you made an assumption that it was a family thing, then it's not her fault. Yeah. So the top comment is, "You're the asshole." She said it was important, and it was important to her. She didn't say it was an emergency or some family problem, like you incorrectly assumed. If the reason was a critical factor in your decision making, you should have specifically asked her why she needed you to switch.
Exactly.
Yeah, next time just be more upfront. Be like, okay, but what's the reasoning if that's, the way for you to say yes.
Yeah. I hope he wanted, like, if that was such a major factor, yeah, she should have just been more clear. Ultimately, I think she was, like, the asshole in this situation because, this is, like, such a non-issue. Like, it's like her coworker said it's not that deep. Just take the shift and just shut up.
Yeah, I mean, now she's screwed, though. Now she has nobody to cover for her, and she went back on her word. It's not her fault. I think if it was such a big deal, you should have asked from the beginning why she was taking it off. That's it.
Yeah.
So final verdict.
OP is the asshole.
Yes, 100%. And so also Reddit agreed with us. So that's all the stories we have today. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode. Check out our website, www.yappings.com, and join our mail list for updates. If you love our podcast and want to support us, subscribe and share with your friends and family. We will appreciate it so much.
Also, we started a new Facebook group called AITA-Relationship and Family Drama, linked in the description. Join so you can share your Am I the Hassle posts that you like from Reddit or share your own stories for all of us to judge. We may even read a few posts in one of the episodes.
Thank you for listening and see you next Monday. Bye.